This video is a very interesting window into the psychopathology of degenerate low verbal IQ women that are possessed by the wokemind virus. As I talked about in previous videos, proclivity to abide in radical left-wing tyrannies is predicted by a feminine temperament and low verbal IQ. And that's exactly what you see here. Not only is there the allegiance to the left-wing ideology and the manifested in the inability to engage in words or ideas, but there is the underlying presupposition in her failure to answer, which I'm about to show you, that says you actually questioning me in alignment with objective frameworks is oppression in and of itself. That's how destroyed much of the youngest generation is, my generation is. They've been told that even engaging, they've been conditioned, programmed, that to even engage in an objective framework where there are truths and falsehoods, good and evil, is discrimination. The leftist hive mind has associated itself with the old school liberalism or classical liberalism, saying that advocating on behalf of people that are downtrodden and need charity and need help is somehow aligned with communism, which is the most murderous ideology ever devised by man. And that is an error of liberals, but it is a weakness and a laziness and cowardice that they are responsible for. And it's created this level of creature here. So look at this.
I feel like sometimes I'm doing God's work. Like sometimes I'm like,
oh my gosh, I didn't even know that she said that. That's crazy. So we have an inversion of objective moral truth here. I didn't even know she said that.
Sometimes I'm doing God's work.
Sometimes I'm doing God's work.
Like sometimes I'm like, damn, I really threw you a bone.
Oh my gosh, it's worse than I thought.
What do you mean?
Anyone that can think is like, what are you talking about? Oh no. Is she talking about dating a man? Oh, I throw you a bone. Oh gosh, bro. Steer clear of this. I mean, she's not going to reproduce. Girls like this aren't going to reproduce because they think that having kids is serving the patriarchy, but still, this is just a hazard. A walking hazard of mental incoherence, a human form riddled with the psychopathology of the left.
I don't know. I've just been with.
Whoa, that was actually strange. Okay, that was really weird.
What do you mean?
Where do they find these people? Where does this podcast find? Dude, this is even greater than those fresh and fit levels of delusion, where they bring on those Miami girls that they can't name 3 countries and don't know what their first name is. This is next level.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. Am I expected to adhere to coherence and truth? What is that? I'd rather have Starbucks. Oh my god, I'm a socialist.
I've just been with men of all shapes and sizes, and
I bet you have.
And also sometimes I
slut
take pity on men, and so I am generous.
I take pity on men. I'm really generous that I bestow myself. Bro, girls like this are going to become 55 one day. They're going to be resentful alone in a 1-bedroom apartment that they can barely afford from government welfare, or maybe paid for by the stipends of a simp that they married and then divorced, right? They're going to be looking around, and all these other happy women are going to have families and kids, and they're going to be even more resentful. They're going to be buying cat food and reading Marx, and it's going to be a disaster. There are so many women headed towards this fate.
You fuck men because you pity them?
Dude, look at her face. What is going on right now? What?
Because you,
I didn't know that it was like this.
You pity them?
Just sometimes I feel bad.
What's going on right now? I think that this is okay. I've made jokes, right? But on a serious level of analysis, you can tell that there's mental illness, and you can tell that because there's a dialogue going on in her head that is fictitious. She's engaging with figments of her imagination that are fundamentally disconnected from reality. You can see it right here. But the reason why this is interesting, and we're not just watching a random crazy person, is because this has been installed by the left. This has been installed by the wokemind virus here.
Just sometimes I feel bad.
What is she even talking about? It doesn't make any sense. It is in keeping with the Marxist doctrine of you can make no sense at any time because that's an untenable environment. Sense making, logic, rationality, those are all unacceptable mechanisms.
Are your parents still together?
No.
Okay, that was weird. That was weird the way she looked down and smiled like that.
Was there any childhood trauma?
Yes.
Okay. Checks out.
Dude, I mean, we all knew that, or maybe we didn't all know that. I knew that instantly, but like, okay, that's crazy. But there's another video of this girl, okay? Okay, that previous clip gives this clip a lot more depth and interesting aspects to it.
Really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny?
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
Okay, you guys are just like all really misogynistic for engaging in objective parameters. It's always one of the slanders and buzzwords that they levy against anyone. Misogynistic, racist, take your pick of terms. They are the reason why they have no allegiance to making sense is because their ideology doesn't actually require them to make sense. It only requires them to adhere to the doctrines of victimhood and Marxism in order to have an identity, in order to have status. In Marxism, there is no identity to be found in individual identity. The only identity a person can have, the only virtue a person can have, is in conjunction with the group ideology. There is no you, there is only us. And so in that type of environment that detests accountability and individual identity and rejects notions of truth and reason and rationality and logic, you get to a point like this where requests to engage in a framework of objective truth are construed as oppression.
How do you define misogyny?
Objective question is asked. Now watch this. This is quintessential leftist narcissism and a need to be a victim. Of course, also mental illness.
What?
He shouldn't have said anything. He should have just stared at her. He should just look at her. I don't even know where they find women like this, dude. Are they walking around? Is this what the average Starbucks line is like?
I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Starting to cry when asked an objective question. This is exactly in keeping with leftist ideology. I must be a victim at all times. Objective mechanisms are nothing but oppression. I'm being oppressed right now. He asked me a question. This is what the future could look like if we don't confront this mind virus. Oh my God, a question that has an objective answer. Oh wait, are her hands deformed too? Wait. Oh shit. I think her fingers are messed up as well. Okay, well.
Can I go?
Are
you okay? Like, do you want to go as in?
He should have asked her, do I need to call an ambulance? The paramedics show up. Why are we here? What's wrong? He asked me a question with an objective answer. I'm a part of Marxism. Okay, here, have a Tylenol. Like, bruh.
Leave? If you...
I go home. I live in an environment where my family's broken up and my home has no parameters. I'm constantly in pain as a result of being out of congruence with reality. These people are constantly suffering, by the way. They are constantly in distress.
Yeah, no, look.
Because as they walk around, the objective world reminds them that they're wrong. As they're walking around, anytime that they're reminded that gravity's holding them down, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm being oppressed by gravity. Anytime they see that men are taller than women on average, they're like, oh my gosh, biology is oppressing me. Anytime they go to the store and have to pay with money, they're reminded that, oh my God, capitalism creates value, I'm being oppressed. Oh my God, what do you mean I have to engage in numbers and math in order to pay for the tampons that I have to buy? And as a result of cosplaying as a woman while being transgender, you mean I have to engage in logic? Math is racist. They're constantly, perpetually just in pain as a result of going through the objective world.
If you want to leave, you can...
This is a rare moment caught on camera, but...
I mean...
This podcast is essentially a breeding ground and you could call it like a baiting environment that allows female degeneracy and psychopathology and psychosis to manifest itself in very public ways. And there's another example of this. This one's also interesting because all of this is in keeping with the woke mind virus, with the leftist ideology.
Across.
This one is interesting because it is in the exact same vein, but instead of crying and walking off when asked an objective question, she just inverts truth. This is a tactic of leftism where they say there is no such thing as truth, and so when you ask me a question with an objective answer, I will say the opposite of what reality is. Check this out.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself a Christian?
I believe in God.
Let me ask you a question.
That's not what he asked. Do you consider yourself a Christian? So failure to answer an objective question starts here. And it just ramps up to a point where it becomes so starkly insane that the entire world laughed at her.
Wear your cross while you're engaging in producing porn or OnlyFans content.
I always wear my cross.
You always wear your cross.
I never take it off.
Do you think that God approves of you doing porn, basically?
An objective question with the most obvious answer ever. It's the same thing as asking what is 2 + 2 = 4. What is the definition of a woman? Leftists can't answer these simple questions because answering them admits that not only are they wrong, but they are macro wrong. The entire way they engage with the world is corrupt and fraudulent.
Yeah, it's not hurting anybody. I do it very safely.
Yeah, God approves of me doing porn, is what she just said.
Do you think God wants you making porn?
So it's ramped up. The leverage is increased. So you think God wants you to make porn? We're not even a quarter of the way there. Check this out.
God said that he loves everyone.
He doesn't objectively judge me because that would lead to the disintegration of my entire ideology, and then I'd realize that not only am I serving evil, but I'm completely corrupt and have created nothing.
Okay, I have a question. If God wants you to be a porn star...
And in her face, you can see that she's lying. In her face, you can tell that she knows she's saying the opposite of the truth. You can tell that she's broken. You can tell that she's destroyed. This woman is fatherless. This woman does OnlyFans. This woman sells pictures of... This woman sells her body. And you can see in her face that she's miserable. Also, what is that creature next to Jesus? Where do they find these people?
What do you think Satan wants?
Here it is.
To stop doing what I do, I guess. What?
This is actually insidious. This is the reason why the left-wing ideology is the most dangerous ideology ever produced by humanity and is responsible for the most number of deaths ever. In communism, it is the inversion of truth. It is the opposition to humanity. This is the reason why Elon Musk says the wokemind virus is opposed to humanity. This is the inversion of truth. It's not just a lie. It is the opposite of saying what's true.
Satan wants you to not do porn, and God wants you to do porn.
You can use objective matrices to demonstrate their incoherence, to show that they are dedicated to evil, dedicated to Marxism, dedicated to the opposite of humanity.
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Okay, look at her face, admitting that look at her face, admitting ultimate perversion, admitting that Satan wants her to stop doing porn and God wants her to do porn. This is a destroyed human. Look at this, look at this. Look at that, look at that, look at this.
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
This is, okay, so proclivity to abide in radical left-wing authoritarianism or tyrannical regimes is correlated with a feminine temperament and low verbal IQ. Marxism preys on people like this. Marxism preys on incompetent women without fathers, without a matrix for making sense of the world objectively. Leftist ideology preys on resentful, degenerate women without an apparatus for making sense of reality.